Good morning, church. It's good to be with you today. And there's so much good Bible for us to look at today. We're going to start with Isaiah 29:1, where we get a new name for Jerusalem and the Jerusalemites, Ariel. And Ariel we have not seen it, and I don't think we see it again. But it's interesting because it has two things that it can mean. The great lion, the lion of God, or the altar hearth. And so when we get this, he says, in verse 1, woe to Ariel, woe to the lion of God. She shall be to me like an Ariel, like the altar hearth, burned up and annihilated. So we get this prophetic statement here, and so one of the problems with reading an English translation or any translation other than Hebrew is we miss a lot of these things, like as we've been reading through the Old Testament where it has Lord in all caps. That has a variety of meanings, and we often don't get those. And so sometimes it's just nice to hear what is the meaning behind all of this. And then we have all of this prophecy against those who trust in other things than God. They want to go down to Egypt, chapter 31, for who depend on horses. They trust in the abundance of chariots and in the large numbers of horsemen. They do not look to the Holy One of Israel. They do not seek the Lord. Psalm 20, verse 7 says, some take pride in chariots and others in horses, but we take pride in the name of the Lord our God. Where are you going to look for help? Where does your help come from? Is it in the abundance of what you have? Is it in the strength of the army? Is it in anything other than the Lord our God? Remember yesterday, when we depend on God, we have total peace. When our dependence goes somewhere else, we will not. We will be let down. Another prophecy, God says, I'll make Egypt like a broken reed. So when you lean on it, it will snap off in your hand. And I don't know if you've ever been in like those marshy reeds. They snap off and they're sharp, and they can impale your hand if they snap off when you're leaning on it. It's not just will it let you down, but its fall will bring you great harm. So let's again just recommit to say, the Lord is our rock, and he will not pass away. We trust in him forever. And then we go over to James, verse 5. If any of you lacks wisdom, he should ask God, who gives to all generously and ungrudgingly, and it will be given to him. But let him ask in faith without doubting, for the doubter is like the surging sea, driven and tossed by the wind. That person should not expect to receive anything from the Lord, being double-minded and unstable in all his ways. If we lack wisdom, if we don't know what to do, if we're unsure of a course of action, we should go to God, who loves to give generously and ungrudgingly, more than you could ever ask or imagine, says Paul. I had a seminary professor ask, do you think God can do things better than you, faster than you, and with a longer lasting impact than you? If the answer is yes, which the answer is yes, then why don't you go to him first? Why don't you seek his power and his wisdom to accomplish the tasks? Why do we insist on doing it our way? Because we do want it our way. Isn't that the confession? We do think that we know better. But finally, we should be doers of the word and not hearers only, deceiving ourselves. So we hear it today. and we're going to go out and live it and do it in our lives. So, church, go be a doer of the word today. I love you, and I look forward to talking to you soon again.